Game week 36 transfer plans. What is up, everyone? How's it going? Hope you're keeping well, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Apologies, there was no deadline stream at the weekend. I was over in Manchester at the Burnley game. With that result, I might have been better off staying at home. But sure, look, we are back in FPL mode right now. 3 game weeks to go, we're back to our normal schedule. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my transfer plans ahead of the Game Week 36 deadline. We do have a few yellow flag players as well, and with a bench boost to play, I might have a few transfers to make ahead of the deadline this week. We've lots to discuss. Let's get into the video. Before we get into today's video, quick reminder as always to drop the video a like, and let's hit a like goal of 80 likes on this video. So head on down there, give the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button below. I'm trying to hit 6k subs before the end of the season. Just 3 game weeks to go, and I'm just over 150 subs away from hitting this milestone, so I really would appreciate your support. And if you haven't already, head on down there, click subscribe, and help me on my way to hitting 6k subscribers. Right then, with that out of the way, here's how I'm currently looking during Game Week 35. 47 points so far for the week. I did take a hit bringing in Gordon for Mo Salah. Thankfully, the Newcastle boys did really well against Sheffield. Isak scoring twice to come away with a 12-pointer. And of course, the new signing for Mo Salah, Anthony Gordon, coming in, picking up 2 assists and coming away with a 10-point haul. We did have a late night in Manchester on Friday night, and I'm just really glad I did set my alarm for Saturday morning when the news broke that Salah was left on the bench against West Ham. I brought in Anthony Gordon, and the rest is history. 10-point haul from Anthony Gordon. The transfer did pay off, but unfortunately, my other transfer didn't pay off when I brought in Schär. He came off injured just after half-time, but at least Newcastle did concede, so a 1-point return from Schär. I can't be too disappointed with that, especially when Newcastle did concede, but he's a big doubt now ahead of the Game Week 36 deadline. Apart from Gordon and Isak, the rest of the team have been pretty disappointing. Starting off with Petrovic in goals. He did concede twice with Aston Villa on Saturday evening. He does have another game up against Spurs on Thursday night, but I'm not expecting a clean sheet from him there. But hopefully he can pick up a few save points for an extra couple of points before the end of the game week. On to the Nori in defence. He was 10 minutes away from keeping a much needed clean sheet against Luton. Of course, Luton were always going to score. Wolves have been a bit shaky in defence over the last couple of weeks. And then to add rub salt into the wounds, Nori went off injured just after they conceded, so he's another doubt alongside Schär ahead of the deadline this week. If only he could have got injured a few minutes earlier, and I would have been happy with my clean sheet, even though he is injured now. Gabriel did concede twice away to Spurs for a disappointing 1-point return, but at least it was Heung-min Son who did score from the spot. It's currently 1-0 to Son captainers over Palmer. I did choose Palmer over Son. Palmer had a pretty quiet game against Aston Villa on Saturday evening, only for one chance right at the death when he was played through 1-1 against Olsen, and somehow Olsen kept him out in the form Palmer is in at the moment. You probably would have expected him to bury that chance. I'm not too fussed on the blank at the moment for Palmer. I am expecting goals in that Spurs game on Thursday night, so hopefully he can get on the score sheet, or if he doesn't get on the score sheet, hopefully he picks up a few returns. On to Garnacho then, and it was great to have some live FPL involvement in the game I was at Old Trafford on Saturday afternoon. Unfortunately, Garnacho did draw a blank, but I'm not sure how he didn't return on the day. He went through 1-on-1 on a few separate occasions. He was definitely fouled in the box for one of those occasions, and I'm not sure how he weren't given a penalty. And then he also had a few flash shots just outside the box that could have went in on another day. An illness to Phil Foden meant he was left out of the Man City squad for that Nottingham Forest game on Sunday afternoon. I'm hoping he'll be alright before the Game Week 36 deadline with that Wolves fixture at home, as I've too many yellow flags in the team at the moment, and I don't want another headache on who I have to transfer out. Foden's absence meant João Pedro subbed into the team, but he wasn't able to return against Bournemouth on Sunday afternoon, and he only came away with 2 points. Erling Haaland only managed to start from the bench, but he did make a late cameo against Forest, and he was on target, and he picked up a goal for a 5-point return. That's how I'm shaping up so far. 47 points for the week, with Petrovic, Palmer captain and Son still to play on Thursday night. I have got a red arrow so far. I've now dropped to 57k from 49k, so I have a bit of work to do to get back into the top 50k. I am expecting more of a red arrow with only Son, Palmer and Petrovic involved. A lot of people are going to have 5 to 6 players involved in that game on Thursday night, so I might have to take that one on the chin. Let's move on now and start planning ahead for our transfer plans ahead of the Game Week 36 deadline. So looking ahead to the Game Week 36 deadline, here's the current state of affairs with my team. That's not great viewing, is it? 5 yellow flags, albeit I think it's going to be 4 yellow flags, as I do think Foden will be fine for that Wolves game at the weekend. 4 yellow flags, all in defence, so I've got a big defensive headache this week. Van Heck at the weekend was left out of the Brighton squad with a muscular injury, and there was no timeline on how long he is going to be out for, so I'm going to have to keep a close eye on the Zerbi's press conference before the deadline. Beside him there on the bench is Gusto. He's currently doing rehab at the moment with Chelsea. He's looking very likely to miss the Spurs game on Thursday night, and that makes him a big doubt for the West Ham game at the weekend. So not a great start on the bench there. 2 bench players, both yellow flagged. And then onto my starting 11 currently. Aït-Nouri and Cher are both injured. Aït-Nouri did get a knock to his knee just before the end of the game against Luton at the weekend. Gary O'Neill said he hopes it's not too bad, but he is up against Man City this week, so I don't want to play him anyway, as I do think Man City will get a few there. But another headache in the fence, and then Cher beside him, who only brought in Game Week 35 with the bench boost in mind. In Game Week 37, he came off with a tight hamstring injury against Sheffield United just after half time. The good news is that it shouldn't be fully pulled if he was able to play on. He picked up the injury around the 20-minute mark, but he was able to play on until half time. So hopefully the extent of his injury isn't too serious, and he should be alright for the double in Game Week 37. 4 yellow flags, and then looking at Caoimhín Kelleher on my bench. A bench boosted to play in Game Week 37. It's not looking great at the moment. A lot of yellow flags, and I still have to play my bench boost, as I said. So I'm looking likely that I'm going to take a lot of hits in Game Week 37 if I do want to have a nice bench boost for that week. Looking away from the yellow flags, the rest of the team isn't looking too bad. Petrovic at home against West Ham this weekend, so not the worst fixture there. Albeit Chelsea are pretty poor in defence over the last couple of weeks, so I'm not expecting a clean sheet, but hopefully he can get a few save points and save me a goalkeeper transfer this week. Rob Sanchez hasn't been training at least as well, so that's another good news as well, and that should save me from a goalkeeper transfer. And then I might have to make one then in Game Week 37 for the bench boost. On to Gabriel then at home against Bournemouth, so you would expect a clean sheet from Arsenal in that game. And then moving on to the midfield, Gordon is just off the back of a 10-point haul in Game Week 35, so hopefully he can carry this form into the Burnley game at the weekend and hopefully get another return. And then he also had that double game week in Game Week 37. Heung-min Son and Cole Palmer still have to play on Thursday night, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be crossing everything that can come away injury-free from that game, as I have enough problems in my team at the moment. Garnacho away to Crystal Palace. He was very unlucky not to have returned against Burnley at the weekend, so hopefully he'll be able to get something against Crystal Palace. And then up top, Isak and Erling Haaland. Isak in great form as well over the last couple of weeks. He's been an absolute joy to own since bringing him in on the wildcard in Game Week 30. And then Erling Haaland is back from injury. He came out to say he's ready to play 5 finals to finish off the season, so hopefully he can get a nice return against Wolves at the weekend. And he's also in line to get the golden boot, so he'll be looking to get on the score sheet a few times against Wolves on Saturday. That's how I'm currently shaping up. As I said, you can see a lot of yellow flags in the team. So let's move on now and have a look at my transfer plans ahead of the Game Week 36 deadline. So looking at my current transfer plans ahead of the Game Week 36 deadline, you've guessed it, I'm looking at making a defensive transfer with all those injuries in my defence in the hopes of cleaning up that mess. My first potential move will be looking at moving on Caoimhín Kelleher. He's obviously lost the spot to Alisson over the last couple of weeks. And then I'll be looking at bringing in Ortega of Man City. Ederson had a bad injury against Nottingham Forest at the weekend, and he was seen leaving the ground in a sling, and Pep Guardiola came out after the game to say it doesn't look good, so you'd expect Ortega to play the rest of the games for the rest of the season. City also have a great run of fixtures, starting off with Wolves at home in Game Week 36, followed by a double game week in Game Week 37, and then to finish off the season at home to West Ham, where you'd expect them to lift the trophy, and then also expect them to get a few clean sheets along the way also. I already have Petrovic in goals, but bringing in Ortega gives me another double game week keeper in Game Week 37 for my bench boost. So that's what I'm currently looking at, bringing in Ortega for Kelleher. Looking at my second transfer then, I'll be looking at taking out Aït-Nouri with his knock to his knee, and then looking at bringing in Kyle Walker or Vardiol as my third Man City asset. The only thing between my Ortega move and my Walker or Vardiol move is that I have to make one or the other, as I already have Foden and Haaland in the team. Looking at Aït-Nouri, I could get rid of Gusto, I could get rid of Van Heck, I could even get rid of Cher, but those 3 other defenders have a double game week in Game Week 37. I'm looking to keep Gabriel on my bench boost also, so Aït-Nouri is high in the chopping block because of that. As I said, I'm going to have to wait for more injury updates on Cher, on Gusto and on Van Heck. But for now, I'm looking at getting rid of Aït-Nouri because he doesn't have that double game week fixture in Game Week 37 when I'm planning to use my bench boost. When deciding between Walker and Vardiol, I'm slightly leaning towards Walker at the moment, as he is a safer pick for starts, especially with that double game week in mind for Game Week 37 on my bench boost. Vardiol is obviously the man in form at the moment. He did pick up that goal against Nottingham Forest, but with Vardiol, he does have some slight competition against Ake. Ake obviously played centre back with Diaz moved to the bench, but Ake can also play at left back. So that's why I'm currently leaning towards Walker, just with the security of minutes with that bench boost in mind in 37. So that's my current transfer plans ahead of the Game Week 36 deadline on Friday evening. I'm going to be sitting in wait of the press conferences, and hopefully we'll get a clear update on the fitness of Cher, Aït-Nouri, Gusto and Van Heck. If they're not fit for Gameweek 36, hopefully they will be fit for Gameweek 37 when I am looking to use my bench boost. Worst case scenario on the bench boost, if the 4 of these players are injured, particularly Gusto, Van Heck and Sheriff, these 3 are injured, I'll be looking at having 10 double game week players with the use of 2 free transfers. I could get to 11 or 12 if I want to take a -8. But then best case scenario, I can get to 14 double game week players with 2 free transfers. If you use 1 free transfer this week to bring in a double game week player for 37 and then use another free transfer for another double game week player in game week 37, I can get to 14 double game week players. Gabriel, the lone player who has a single game week that week. Fair enough, he is up against Man United, but there's always a chance he can get a clean sheet there with Arsenal going in for the title. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit a like goal of 80 likes on this video, so head on down there, give the video a like, and if you are watching this video and you're not subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button. Well, we're currently on the road to 6k subs. We're just over 150 subs away from hitting this milestone, so if you are watching and you're not subscribed, I really would appreciate it if you could head on down there, click subscribe and help me on my way to reaching 6k subs before the end of the season. I'll see you all during the week for a team selection video, and hopefully we'll be given a clear update on the fitness of my defence, and hopefully I won't have too many yellow flags in the next video. Thanks for watching, best of luck for the week, I'll see you in the next video.